Well, do you feel like you're in silver bondage? Yeah, it's been a long time. I know silver's been going down for the last 3 years, and everybody's been saying, yeah, it's going to go up. And I also know the principles of markets, and also I know that. Well, I'm not going to be able to just go on here and say, yeah, the price is going to move this much and this much exactly. But I do know the principles. Actually, Middle East events is one of the things that really drive up silver. We got a number of things actually in addition to that. What's going on? What I mentioned before about the Saudi family, the possible coup in the background, Germany not wanting to sell Saudi weapons because they think they're too unstable, and other things going on. Wow. So if Saudi gets unstable, wow, that could be the end of the deal. Now I know you feel like you're in silver bondage. I know some people like bondage. It's like fun and games, and I don't want to be bound. I can tell you that one now. But anyway, but the one thing is, if you feel like you're in silver bondage, what you did was you put all your eggs in one basket. That's one thing I never advocated. But if you did do that and you're still hanging on, you're probably going to be looking pretty. Because we're seeing things turning around in the oil markets, and that's partly what's going to be this update's going to be about, is the oil markets. Because first off, there's been the union deals fell through with the oil refineries in the USA, and they're urging them to strike. So now that's not the crude oil price, but you're probably going to see, a jump up in the price at home in the pump if that happens. But there's other things going on where, we're going to get stuck to it big time. We're going to get stuck with the knife, man, by the oil prices going up. And the reason is this. Remember when Saudi was bringing the oil prices down probably to punish Russia or make Russia do what they want, or drive out or actually at the behest of the USA, I think, but to punish Russia for the Ukraine movement and whatever it is. But the other deal was that they're also trying to drive out the shale oil industry, their competition. And once they drive out the competition, which they're already doing a pretty good job of it, they'll basically raise the price to whatever the hell they want. They're doing this for long-term interest. So we're going to get stuck to it like big time with the fancy knife here. But why are oil prices going up right now? It's not actually, it's so. I've always maintained, and I actually always have a video about on the bottom of the notes in the information box about the rigging of the oil prices. They've been known as the spot market. They've known this for years. Not just the conspiracy yo-yos and stuff. I'm talking about the top traders, the former head of NYMEX and all this other stuff. Well, what's going on is actually Saudi is got a strategic plan here. And, it's not to freaking change the cosmos or anything like that. What's going on is actually that they're trying to pressure Russia again by raising oil prices. Here's the angle. They're trying to say, Russia, in exchange for us raising the oil prices and taking off some of the economic burden that you have, we want you to withdraw all your support for Syria and Assad. Did you know that? How's that? This kid looks around at a lot of different stories, so I just got to tell you that it's not actually... Man, they control the market, man. It's amazing. They do. Saudis really control the market. Because it's not so much the supply that they have. That's part of it, but it's just the fact that they got a supply that they can get out of the ground dirt cheap. That's really what the deal is. They can really play a lot of games. So in the cosmos of things, oil prices are probably going to go right through the roof. Actually, the Saudis have actually stated, don't be surprised if oil hits $200 a barrel sometime in the future. I know that's what they would want to do, right? Why do you think they're trying to drive out the competition? But you hold your own fate in your own hands right here. The purple, whatever the hell that is, with the purple nail polish and the silver rings. You hold your fate in your hands. Now, I just want to briefly look at. Yeah, here's the silver again. It's still not over 18 again. It was over 18 and it wasn't over 18, blah, blah, blah. But look at oil. I know the markets are charging up, but oil took a $3 move upward. That's a big move because it's a $3 move from 50 or 49. So that's like a 6% move. That's a huge move for oil. So Putin they're telling Putin, what to do, and it's, hey, Putin, we're going to help you out a little bit, buddy. if you don't help Assad. Now, actually, what you call it? Saudi's got a lot of problems because, and actually, this is going to be. I just want to interject here before I talk about Saudi a little more. This is going to be the next Occupy Wall Street movement. You know, the next time we have the market crash and they try to get a bailout, you know, this is how we got to do it for attention. Girls, get out there, you know, with your bikinis and your pink and purple hair and green hair, and get them Wall Streeters' attention so they're all gaping out the window and they're not doing any work, because that'll really cost them money if they're like all looking out the window and joining in the protest and want to see what's going on, right? None of them will work, right? That's one way to do the protest. And the cops won't touch these chicks, you know, and that's the other thing. You know, and like have a lot of fun and throw confetti up in the air and stuff or whatever the hell you're going to do. But this is going to be the next Occupy Wall Street movement. You got to have a lot of fun. Have a big party out there on Wall Street. So, but anyway, Saudi's actually having problems on their southern borders because, you know, I mentioned this before, but, you know, Yemen government resigned en masse. I mean, that's not one of those conspiracy things. They really did. They all resigned, the whole government, you know? And that was like right before the king, Abdullah, died, you know? And then 2 days later, the Huffington Post was talking about Saudi having an internal coup, palace coup. And then a few days after that, I saw another major media article where they said Germany's not selling Saudi weapons anymore because, you know, they're too unstable in their opinion. But the U.S. will sell them lots of weapons. Don't worry about that, man. You know, the more they blow each other up, the more they need more weapons, right? So the more sales you have, right? So Wall Street can cheer on. Yay, we're making money. But, you know, it's terrible to say, but that's what shit is. Really freaking sad to say, man. But, you know, Saudis looks like... Well, you know, if some of their oil gets knocked out, man, we could see $300-$400 a barrel. See, this kid's thinking ahead, man. But I wish I knew how you could run cars off of cracked water. You know, you could crack hydrogen out of water, and I don't know how to do all that shit, man. K&N filter and a little HHO, but that's all I know. But let me say this. You know, if you're really going to freaking worry about stuff, because I'm seeing these guys are coming out with all their stuff about... Well, you know who it is. You know this Lindsey Williams, Manarino. I don't really mind him too much, but he's like freaking... They're all fanning the flames for profit. You know, they got this rerun that you could probably watch, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. I mean, you know, if you want to worry about shit, you know, she picks up cars and, you know, she's wearing a cool, like, mini skirt and stuff like that and jumping up and down on the LA ramps and stuff like that, making, like, big earthquakes. Hey, man, you know... Gloom and doom, right? But I guess that's the business of doom and gloom. I'm not in the business of doom and gloom. Actually, I'm in the business of reality. I know Nouriel Roubini, the guy that is like the professor at the New York, the Leonard Stern College of Economics in New York. I'm probably saying that wrong, but you know, he's talking about, these gold bugs had it all wrong, and the dollar's not going to go away. I know the dollar's not going to go away, but I think we're going to have, like, another down cycle here, dude, you know? Nouriel Roubini. Dude, you know, you're freaking wishful thinking, too. I know silver people are wishful thinking, but this is one silver guy. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want nothing to freaking go wrong in the United States. I want everything to be perfect. All the prices can go down everywhere as long as silver goes up a real lot. I don't want doom and gloom, okay? I mean, if people want doom and gloom, go watch Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. You know, that's cool, right? What the hell? And by the way, it's not that cold out, even though it's wintertime. Look at this chick over here with the yellow blazer on, right? It's all in your mind. Yeah, right. Actually, it's even cold here in Florida, man. I've been using my kerosene heater. Yeah, I want to mention this thing in this video, even though it's unrelated. Man, I was wondering why, you know, on the internet... You know, we're talking about fuel prices going up, so I'm figuring, you know, everything's going to go up. I think next year you might be in the stratosphere. You know, we're looking at ADAPT 2030, and I think this is all coming along with the silver. See, the silver and energy prices and gold and all that, they're all kind of related. They're all kind of related. Not exactly one-to-one perfect unison, but they all kind of related. Commodities, mining, oil, energy. You know, when you had the best freaking prices in the best or the highest prices in silver, you had the highest prices in energy, usually when they had global tensions in the Middle East, right? But also, we're going to have this global cooling mini ice age deal coming up. Well, I'm going to tell you, man, I think, like, with the pressure that's going to be coming up here, you're probably going to be wondering about heating your home cheaply. And I put something out about, I was using ultra-low sulfur diesel, ultra-low sulfur diesel, BP variety, exactly. This is a little more biodiesel than the normal brands. And I was putting in 3 ounces of 90% isopropyl alcohol per gallon of diesel. And I was told this by some old farmer dudes, that that's what they do. But they probably use some old junk like I got. I got a really, really old kerosene heater that is like, man, it ain't 10 years old. It's like, what is that, like 27 years old? I got it in Korea. I've just found out, probably the reason it works so damn good is because I have 100% cotton wick. And it's supposedly that tolerates diesel a lot better than the new ones with all the fiberglass wicks. So I'm going to tell you this right now because people are getting mixed results with that deal, and I don't want to steer anybody wrong. But I'm telling you the truth, man. I've been running this ultra low sulfur diesel because I have a pile of it. It's really cheap. I've been running that for heat all the time, man, and I don't smell nothing. I checked it with a CO meter and all that. So I don't know. Throwing that in here, it's unrelated, but what the hell? It's probably because I got 100% cotton wick. I never changed that wick once since 1987. Blech. So anyway, girl, she's probably gonna run inside right after this deal. And if you got the Harley, man, you need some snow tires. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, probably wrap some rope around that back of that rim and get a good windshield because I can imagine I used to try to ride my bike when there's a little bit of snow out, but I was too scared, man. I was like, I do like a couple miles. I was like, fuck this, man. That was a long time ago. But it looks like the oil prices are on the way up. Saudi is making it. Putin's going to take that deal. You know why Putin's going to take that deal? Because of backing up. Why would he give a shit about Assad in Syria? He's concerned about him. You know what I mean? That's what he's concerned about, man. And he's thinking, what the hell? I'll have more money so I can blow up Ukraine if I have more oil money, right? And there's all these people around Putin that are getting all bent out of shape. Yeah, I'm showing them snowy Harleys here, but, there's all kinds of people, as oligarchs all around Putin are getting all bent out of shape because they're losing all kinds of money. They're losing loads of money. I mean, loads. Billions. I mean, it's not like a little bit, you know what I mean? So I think Putin's going to make this deal, and he's going to back off from supporting Assad. And, for all I know, you don't even know what the Saudis are saying to freaking Putin. Maybe they're telling him, why don't you just drop a freaking missile on Assad while you're at it? We'll let the oil prices go up to freaking $200 a barrel. Putin do it. He'd blow him the hell up, man. You see Assad up in a million pieces, man. U.S. wouldn't even have to do it. It's business, man. I'm telling you right now. Doggy-dog world, baby. Doggy-dog. Business. It's worse than the attack of a 50-foot woman, man. Business world is crazy. But, I know one thing with the business world. The only thing they pay attention to is, besides skin, is, well, you got pink hair, purple hair, black hair, and green hair. Man, this is what you need, because we're going to have another Occupy Wall Street. You got to make sure it's crazy and fun. I'll tell you that right now, because, if the women are going to have to do this, because, guys can't freaking pull this kind of crap off like these chicks do, man. But we got to freaking get them, we got to have some unmarked vans to hide them in there because, in case the cops come by or something like that, because this is the way to freaking get Occupy Wall Street going, because we are going to have another freaking market downturn. But, it won't crash, because you know what will happen? Wall Street owns Washington, D.C., right? What are they going to do? Wall Street's going to tell Washington, D.C., give us a bailout. Right? What else is new? I mean, how do you think Warren Buffett survived? Warren Buffett would have got chopped in half. I mean, he wouldn't have been broke, but he would have got chopped in half. He was all for the bailout. The same thing's going to happen all over again, right? But that doesn't mean your silver ain't going to go up. Silver's going to go up. So keep holding that purple stuff and whatever the hell you got, your purple fortune in the future. So, and because you got good karma with silver. You do. So, Hopefully, I gave you a couple of tidbits in here the others aren't, because I was looking at, I was kind of peruse what the hell's coming out in the alternative media right now, and I'm like thinking to myself, you got the normal, I don't know, they got a rehash of Lindsey Williams' 3.5 hour freaking talk, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, man. I mean, that's really bondage listening to that shit, right? Lindsey Williams. For the grace of God, please buy my DVD. I implore you, I want to save your dinner table. Yeah, right. Get the hell out of here, you buzzard. Anyway, just hang tight. You know, I mean, some people, they have to hang tight. I mean, this is really like us in the silver world. We have to hang tight because the price isn't up there yet, right? We're kind of like stuck in bondage whether we like it or not, even though some people like that stuff, but I don't know, that's kind of crazy shit, but but hey, do whatever you want to do, man, as long as it's consenting, right? So anyway, that's my update, and Putin, you know, like I said, if the new king or whatever the heck he is in Saudi whispered in Putin's ear, how about $200 a barrel? You send a nuke and blow up Assad. You see Assad in a million pieces, man. I don't know why people, you know, I don't even dislike Putin. You know what aggravates me more than anything? It's like people think this guy's like a freaking saint, saving the world. I'm like, how stupid can you get? God. Anyway, I don't even dislike the guy. I'm just frustrated with the people that freaking think the guy's a saint. He's just like all the other ones, man. You know? Anyway, don't freeze your ass off. It's winter time. And if you got a kerosene heater, looks like the cotton wick is the way to go.